All right, guys, welcome. This is the Safe Haven. We have KTH King here for the Milk Farm AMA. A reminder, AMAs are never endorsements. The chance for the community to ask questions, and nothing here is financial advice. KTH, go ahead and take it away.
Yo, it's me, KTH King. I am the CEO founder of Milk Farm, which is a cryptocurrency brand, which we will discuss with Achilles today. And I'll give you guys all the information, everything you need to know about it, and you can make your decision from there. I just wanted to show my face because I am a dog stare, as people would call it. And I just want people to know that I'm out here. I got nothing to hide. So, but the video camera situation, it is messing with my internet a little bit. So I'm gonna save my bandwidth and stuff and put the camera off. But now you see me. Hi, it's me,
Pleasure to meet you.
KTH. Thanks, guys.
All right, so tell us
So how
about
do we
this
start?
project. What's going on?
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me do this actually first before we get into that. I will share this screen of mine for a nice little presentation of the white paper for you guys to like read through now and then while I'm talking. So
Beautiful.
Milk Farm, it's not just like your average project, you know what I mean? It's a cryptocurrency brand is what I like to call it. Because the vision that I have for it is to be a brand like an umbrella with a bunch of things underneath it that can always provide value for the investor beyond selling any of the stuff that we have. Like for example, the token will have utilities simply by holding the token. It's not like you have to hold. It's not like you have to be a whale and hold like 10 BNB worth of tokens to get access to the utilities, especially the ones that are coming out and launch. The first one, which would be Dairy Dice, which is a dice game. That one will come out at launch, and you only have to hold like 0.05 BNBs worth of tokens to actually play the game, and then you can use it. You earn normal BNB from the game, and you can play with normal BNB in the game. But Milk Farm is always a cryptocurrency brand. Right now, we have the miner that's out already. It launched on Friday, and we launched with like 1 BNB TVL, and right now it's at 260 or something. It keeps going up. It's still going up during this bear market, and over the weekend it's been going up as well. So we're doing quite well with our miners so far. I'm happy with the progress on that. And then we will have play to earn games and the token. The pre-sale will be on Sunday, the 15th of May, and the launch will be on Monday, the 16th of May. And the first game of our catalog of games will be out at launch, which will be Dairy Dice. And I'll let Achilles ask me the questions about all of that, and then I'll go more into detail with it. But that's the introduction, basically.
I love it. All right, so just to make sure I got it, the pre-sale is on the 13th of May?
The 15th on Sunday.
15th, got it. And then the launch is on the 16th.
Yeah. On the
And how much
16th.
are you guys trying to raise in the pre-sale?
We're going for 300 BNB in the pre-sale. Yeah. And we're gonna. Sorry?
The soft cap is 150 BNB then?
Yeah.
Awesome. What platform are you using?
We're gonna launch with Gempad, and Gempad will also be doing the audit for it. And I'm gonna do KYC with Gempad as well. And I'm aiming to get diamond tier on Gempad. They already confirmed that we can get platinum tier, which is the tier just above diamond tier. But at Milk Farm, we want to strive for the best of everything, the highest quality we can get with everything. So I'm aiming for diamond tier. They just need to see the beta of the game and make sure that the utility is functional. So I'm still waiting for the game to be completely developed, and then I can put out the testnet demo of the game, and they can do that, and then we can get diamond tier, and then we'll launch on Gempad. Yeah, we'll have our pre-sale on Gempad with the diamond tier, which will make us look super cool because we are super cool.
Excellent. All right. So before we move on, I see you got a lot of stuff coming up for us here. How did you fund it up to this point? Have you had any private sales?
We have had one private sale. The first round private sale was 50 BNB that we fold, and then we kept 25 BNB to allocate to other influencers and, in exchange for promotion. So they will get allocated some tokens in exchange for promo. So in total, the first round of private sale was 75 BNB. I did open a second round of private sale for the token launch, but we only fold like 4 BNB of that so far. That's just so to make sure that I have enough funds for this week to market up and to market the miner at least, because we're also focusing on paying for these AMAs to market the pre-sale in the project as a whole, but I also want to make sure that I have enough funds to do miner specific, because the miner is already launched, so I need to do miner marketing that's specific to the miner, because there's certain types of marketing that the miner benefits from that token don't normally benefit from, if you know what I mean.
No, I got
Does that
you.
make sense? Yeah, so I'm just trying to make sure that I have enough with that as well. So that's why the round 2 is there, but I'm probably gonna close the round 2 tomorrow, and then I'll announce what we've done in total for private sales. Private sale was also vested, so
That was my
like
next
private
question.
sale round 2 is private sale was vested, so we cool with that with the whole vesting situation. We don't want anyone dumping a whole bunch and launch. We're very anti-dump here at Mock Farm, as you can see, with all our anti-dump measurements in the miner itself. So we want to make sure that the launch is smooth, no one dumps too much. And yeah.
So anti-dump
the
the
private
miner,
sale.
exactly.
So I don't know if everyone's familiar with miners, because I noticed there's a lot of people in the space that, because miners are relatively new in the space in terms of like popularity. So a lot of people might not know about the miner. So I'll start by explaining the difference between a miner and a token. Like with a token, you have an initial investment that you can buy, and you buy 5 BNB of a token, you get 50 quadrillion trillion tokens. And then when you sell those tokens disappear, and you can sell those tokens immediately whenever you want, etc. But with a miner, when you give that initial investment is gone. You purchase, in our case, you purchase mulkers. So those mulkers are forever. Even when you sell, those mulkers don't decrease. The mulkers never decrease. They can only increase you can only add to your bag. You can never take from your mulkers, but you keep compounding rewards daily. So our daily rate of rewards is up to 15% of your mulkers, the worth of your mulkers, the BNB worth of your mulkers, which you can check on our depth just by typing in the number of BNB, and it'll show you how much those mulkers are worth. I mean, how much mulkers you'd get from that BNB. So you can work out the math of how much your mulkers is worth from there. We also have a bot in our TG that helps with that. But where was I? Yeah. So with our anti-dump system, we just need to make sure, because essentially a miner is like a printing machine for BNB, because every day you're making rewards. As the TVL pumps, your mulkers become worth more money, so you're making more rewards a day. There are already people in the Telegram, the Mock Farm Telegram, that are already members, that are already investors in Mock Farm Miner, that are making like 2.5 BNB a day. So, but we can't expect them, if they're gonna sell every day, that's gonna wreck the miner, because at the end of the day, the only way we can make money is if the TVL of the miner is healthy, and the TVL is the amount of BNB inside of the contract of the miner. So if people are selling every day, they'll just dump the whole contract to zero, and then only they benefit while the rest of the investors have to suffer. So we want to create a very fair environment for all investors, where they can feel safe and protected, and everyone can make money with the miner long-term passively if everyone plays fair. But we've seen other miners, and we've seen how they have gotten dumped on. So we created these anti-dump functions. There's an automatic anti-dump function, and then there's the manual anti-dump measurements that we have in place. So the automatic anti-dump functions is a text that just goes like, there's a whole page that describes the logic behind it. But just to summarize it, it's like if you sell your first ever sell, the tax will be 5%, but then your tax will be raised to 20%. So if you sell the next day, right after your first sell, you're getting taxed 20%. And if you sell again 24 hours after that, your tax is going up to 40%. So this is kind of to deter people from selling. And when if they do sell for that high tax, we take that tax and we put it right back into the TVL. So that's one of our anti-dump measurements. The other one is the manual one. So the manual one is where we are manually watching wallets. We're watching wallets to see if they are stacking rewards, because we can see if you are stacking rewards without rehiring, we can see your intention is to just stack as many rewards as possible and dump all of it, instead of shaving off every week or so and being fair and considerate to the TVL and the other investors. So we can see that. So we'll try and even prevent that first dump just by raising your tax already before you can even sell. If you are planning to dump a massive amount, we're being very, very vigilant with trying to prevent any dumps on the TVL, anyone getting dumped on, so that everyone can make money. Because we can literally all win with the miner. So I hope that
Okay,
explains the anti-dump.
real fast. Sorry. So I'm confused about one thing. So let's say
Yep.
I get the miner, I compound for a week. Then I sell on day
Yep.
8. If
Yes.
I compound on day 9 and then sell on day 10, what is my sales tax?
It will be 10% because so let's put it like this. You sold on one day. Let's call that first day you sold day 1. And then
Right.
you compound day 2. Yeah, so
Right.
you sold for 5%, and you compound day 2, you didn't sell anything. But on day 3, your tax will be 10%. So your tax will gradually go down over a period of 4 days. You'll have to wait 96 hours before it reverts back to 5%.
Okay, so the best strategy to actually get the most out of this miner would be compound for 4 days straight and then sell. 4 days straight, then sell.
Yeah, and if you and when it comes to stacking rewards and stuff like that, like I was saying, we on the lookout for people that's stacking rewards. But if you maybe don't rehire for like 4 days, but your rewards end up under 2% of the TVL or under 1% of the TVL, like you fine. We're not worried about that. You can do that. But like we are more when it comes to the manual tax system, because the manual tax system is where we find a specific wallet and we set that specific wallet's tax even higher than the normal whatever, just to deter them from dumping. But like if you
mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So if your tax, I mean, if your rewards, we see your wallet as pending rewards of like 50 BNB and the TVL is 100 BNB. We see like that's freaking 50% of the TVL, bro. Like, why are you not rehiring? And we can't risk you selling that, so we're gonna raise your tax. If you have a problem with it, you can DM us, and we'll be like, bruh, like, what is your plan right here? Like, you should rehire and sell like a bean or something tomorrow or something like that. Sell a bean over 50 weeks instead of trying to dump those over 50 beans on us. So we'll be fair like that, and we'll be open to communication with anyone. But we have to look at the like a community. We have to look at like what's in the best interest for everyone to make money instead and not have like and show investors that we don't kind of support the selfish mentality when it comes to profiting off of the miner. Like we need to what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like influence a healthy mindset of how to make profits off of the miner. That makes sense.
No, I respect the sentiment, but as far as like the action of just taxing a wallet that tries to dump, why not have it built in as a proportionate amount into the contract? So there's not that whole like you went after someone individually. Or I've seen some cap it at 24 hours of rewards, and then you have to compound or sell. It's one or the other.
Yeah, to be honest though, with the rehiring thing, we should have put on a limit for like a compounding limit for the rehiring, but we totally let that slip by us, and the contract is already deployed. And then I was like, damn, why didn't we add that? But now we do have a function, so we've taken the function that we have at our disposal, and we're gonna use that to the best of our abilities to make sure all investors are safe. We let that whole rehiring situation slip past us. So now we just have to be extra vigilant. So we're creating a leaderboard as well. So the leaderboard will show wallets like top 10 wallets, etc., that are holding like top 10 amounts of mochas and stuff like that. That'll also give us as admins and as devs the ability to kind of like gauge whether like to see the wallets better, so we can make better decisions when it comes to the whole manual tax raising thing. So it's our own fault for not including the automatic compounding limit. So we'll just have to put in the extra work now. But we don't mind it because, we want this project to work out.
Okay, that's fair. Tell me more about the games, dude.
So the first game that's going to come out at launch is Dairy Dice, and it's a dice game. So there's a single player mode which works like any other dice game. You choose make a bet, you roll the dice. If you win, you get money. But the other thing is that we're having alongside that is the player versus player dice game. So you'll choose like a set amount of BNB that you want to bet, and you will randomly get matched with someone who chose the same wager. And then you guys go head to head. Each bet goes into a pot, and the winner takes all. So that'll also be our extra function, and we'll add more stuff to daily dice, such as like lobbies and invite links. But at first, it will be all randomized matches. And then after Daily Dice, we'll do Milk Ball, which is, I don't know if anyone has played like super retro games, like MAME 32 kind of games and like old arcade games. But there was a game back in the day that used to be called Tapper, where you kind of this guy in a bar serving beer to people. And then there's 4 aisles of desks with the customers are coming down and they're like, hey, give me beer. And you have to serve them the beer. And if you break the glass, you lose points. If you serve them correctly, you win points, or if they reach the end of the desk and you lose points. So we'll have a game called Milk Ball, which is essentially that, but you're serving milk. And instead of earning points, you're going to earn money. So that's Milk Ball. Then we have Milk Fighter, which will be a player versus player 2D fighter. You place wagers, you fight. Whoever wins the pot. And then also the bigger game that I want to do that we're planning, and it's gonna take a while to complete because it's a broad idea, but it's Pokemon, which is essentially Pokemon and Tamagotchi combined, where you kind of raise a pet and you can do battle with the pet, etc. It's gonna be tournament based as well, where we'll have tournaments every week, or where there will be a giant pot that people can win when they compete in it. And those are the games. And then we also want to do utilities, like to earn utilities. I want to do something called Milky Way, where it's like, why walk the easy way when you can walk the Milky Way and make money type of thing. So it will be the basic move to earn, sleep to earns, but then I want to do 2 earns that hasn't been done before. And I don't want to say what those 2 earns are because I don't want anyone in here maybe stealing the idea and doing it before us. But it'll be some creative 2 earns that we'll also add into Milky Way. And then there's also what I want to add eventually is a minor marketplace. This is something we're still working out. It's still a concept. Still trying to see if it's doable. But the minor marketplace will be where you can sell your miner. So if you have a miner and you've been compounding for 3 months or whatever, maybe you sold, maybe you didn't, but you got in at a certain TVL and your miner is compounding a good amount of BNB every day or whatever. And you decide you want to get out, you want to get profit, but you don't want to dump your miner. You kind of just want to get money. So you put your own miner up for sale. And then someone else who is interested in a long-term profit, because the person selling it would be interested in the short-term gain. So the long-term guy who wants to make it passively over a few months is like, oh, snap, this is like a miner. And I've been trying to get into these miners, but they all at 1,000 BNB TVL. I wish I could have gotten at 100 BNB TVL. You see this guy's miner, he bought it at 100 BNB TVL, so you buy his miner. Now you got that miner compounding for you. It's kind of like you bought yourself into the miner at the earlier place, but now you're making back your investment over a period of time. And the person who was mining for a long time also gets out the profit. And so does the person who purchased it from it. So that's something that is a concept right now.
Whole new function. I've actually never seen that. Interesting.
Yeah, it hasn't been done. It hasn't been done before. That's why we have to now figure out from scratch how we can implement it. What do we have to do? How's it gonna work? What kind of coding, etc. So yeah, but that's definitely something that I've been thinking about since before we even launched Milk Farm. So that's also one of the utilities.
Okay.
And I think that
What else do you want to go over exactly? I mean, we got some questions coming in here, and you got a lot to. So okay, here's a question that I had. So you're launching the token on the 16th. Does the token affect the miners' TVL at all? Are there any taxes that cross between or no?
Yes. So it's going to be 8% buy, 8% sell on the token. 4% of that 8% goes into the miner's TVL. So that also helps sustain the miner. And then, so the games will also have tax on certain things, like the dice game, there's 0% tax on a single player game. But when it's PvP, there will be tax, and a percentage of that will also go to the minus TVL, and a percentage of that will also go to the liquidity of the token. So we are building an ecosystem around the whole situation between the token, the miner, and the games, so everything can kind of sustain each other over a long time.
Interesting. All right. So you have two utilities that feed back into the miner.
Yeah, and one that feeds into the liquidity of the token as well.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see.
And as we,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. Now, saying as we do more utilities, more games, we'll just keep adding on to that. You know what I mean? So the games and the utilities will kind of be the two-way street for the liquidity of the token and also the minus TVL, because they'll feed both of those, as well as obviously feeding the marketing wallet, and the marketing wallet feeds the project to spread awareness. So that's kind of like our ecosystem, and also the marketing wallet will be needed to develop more utilities and more games, etc. So that's why that's why the minus tax is also so low, because we know we will have an ecosystem that can feed everything together. You know what I mean?
Right. That is not bad at all for a miner. Like I rarely see people putting that much effort in. That's great, dude. Okay. All right. The big question. So when you started planning this, I'm assuming the market was doing very well. Well, or at least a lot better than it is right now. When we hit a bear market, we see people looking for short-term gains almost immediately. What's your strategy to convince a community to stick with you for a long time?
I mean, we're already doing quite well with that, because with the miner itself, people are like, let me put my BNB in the miner, let it grow in there, let it compound in there while being a bear market. By the time they hit the bull run, they know they sorted, they know they have a printer at their hands where they can just kind of get their BNB back from. So it's kind of a safe spot for them to keep their BNB in during this bear market. So when it comes to the token, though, the token is a whole different game, because we won't have the anti-dump function on the token, because putting an anti-dump function like the one we have in the miner, putting on the token is a whole other ball game. It brings other issues like audit issues, etc. So the whole thing about Milk Farm, the motto of it is we need to provide value for the investor. That is actually worth more than the value of selling their tokens. You know what I mean? So if we expect people to hold at least 0.05 BNB worth of tokens to use our utilities, we need to make sure that the value that they're getting from the utilities is more than that. That's why we will keep putting out utilities, keep putting out games, so that we can provide value to the investor. We can't just expect them to hold for a win Moon or win Lambo type of thing. There has to be value that they can earn from holding the token. So that's what we will strive for with our token and with our whole brand in our project.
Great. All right. How big is your team, man? I know you couldn't have done this by yourself.
So it's me that did a lot of the stuff. I did a lot of the stuff. But then we also have Krato, who is the lead coder. He's an amazing coder. Like, this project would not be able to exist without him, because I had a vision for it, like for the dApp design, the features we want in the dApp, etc. And I could just lay it out to him and it'd be like, bet, let's do it, let's work it out, let's find a way to do it. And so I'm confident that we will get to that stage where we will have the minor marketplace like what I envision, because he's just super amazing. And then we also have Crypto B. Crypto B is basically, she's the co-founder. She founded with me actually, because she's like my friend, and she kind of convinced me to get into this whole deving thing. So she handles kind of like the documents and stuff like that. If I needed to do an Excel sheet to stay organized, I'd be like, do Excel sheets of the AMAs we have this week. She does it. So without her, I wouldn't be able to. I maybe would have forgotten about this AMA, but I'm just joking, because I wouldn't, because it's Achilles, and who's going to forget that? But she helps me with that. And
yeah.
you know what I mean? So she does that. And then there's the mods. The mods are amazing. You know, Selena's there as a mod, Keir is there as a mod, people like that, good people with positive energy. So they also very passionate about the project, and they've been helping me as well, however they can, whenever they can. And then on the marketing side, I've been leading that. But for this week, leading up to the pre-sale, I do got friends helping me out, such as Jaws Not the Shark. He's the dev of Spark Lab, so he's also helping me getting with these connections and getting us marketing for the week leading up to the pre-sale. And he has a team of his own that's also included, that they also helping me with the market for the week, helping me organize AMAs, try and get me good prices, etc., all those kinds of things. So they'll also be doing some post-launch stuff. Choice has good connections with CoinMarketCap and those kind of things. So and Certic and stuff like that. So after launch, we'll get all those things. And yeah, but that's basically the team. I don't think I forgot anybody. When it comes to the graphics and stuff, this white paper, I did all of this stuff, the design stuff. I do that. I do these AMAs, you know, create the vision for the thing. That's on me. The doxing part, that's on me. And yeah, the CEO. I'm a CEO. So that's me and that's the team.
Can't hire someone to dox for you. Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
All right. So, talking about launch week, we got the 16th. You are going to be raising a total of, I think I got this right, 375 BNB between the pre-sale and between the private sale. So, how much is going right to liquidity of the pre-sale?
So right now we're looking at 60% in the liquidity at launch. But what we want to do is to maintain a good ratio of market cap to liquidity is launch the token and then manually add more liquidity at launch to kind of make sure that the liquidity is strong and the market cap is low at launch. That's the plan right now. So that's what we want to do with that. The 60% liquidity that is will be like marketing, paying for the CMC listing, paying for the Certic audit, paying for all those kinds of things to help push the project. So that's what we're looking at right now. I still have to send the token CA is still being developed because we were developing the miner CA all this time. And then we've been working on the token CA now. I need to get the token CA to Gempad so they can do the audit. And then after all that is done, we'll finalize the pre-sale. So at this point, what I'm saying now is currently what we are looking at, but that could change in the next day or two. So I think the token CA should be ready by tomorrow. And by Wednesday, we'll probably finalize all the details. Because I want the project to be up on Gempad's front page with the timer and stuff days in advance of the pre-sale. So yeah, but it will be updated in the Pressmo Telegram.
Right. And to everybody who, I don't know if everyone has the ability to actually like go back to my first post, but I linked all the, if you click on the We Are Live with Milk Farm Duck Races right after, above my AMA and giveaway, like on the same post, it takes you to all of the links for the Telegram, the website, all the socials, the miner app, all that fun stuff if you guys want to take a look for yourselves. Okay, let me think if there's anything that I've missed asking you. Well, we're going to start with Sam. Sam's questions, and then if I forgot anything, I'll jump in here. All right, Sam is our resident fire question asker, and she's got one here. So, when people sell the miner, does the buyer get a return on investment as if they were the original investor, or they have to put more money in themselves? If I buy a miner from you, do I get the exact same benefit of that miner?
Oh, in the miner marketplace. Yeah, so like I said, the miner marketplace is a concept. So, but like we haven't worked everything out. But what I'm aiming for is that if you buy someone's miner, you get their whole miner as is, with their investment in it, what their rewards that they had. You would essentially pay them to buy the miner, so therefore you wouldn't have to put more BNB into the miner yourself. You know, you already paid this guy for the miner, so you get the miner as is, with all the rewards, with all the markers inside of it, as he's still compounding the daily rate that it was originally. So it would be like a 1-to-1 sale of the miner.
Gotcha. All right, the second part of the question, this is a good one. What I've noticed with a lot of miners is that a lot of people invest into them without ever buying the token attached. Meanwhile, once the token dumps, the miner is greatly affected. How do you plan on overcoming this thing that has affected so many other projects? And that's from Sam D.
So I completely understand that someone who buys the miner might not be interested in the token. Maybe their own niche is just buying a miner. Someone who buys the token might not be interested in buying the miner. I have no control over that, but that's why I said that I need to make sure that I can provide value to investors so they feel like they that's worth it to hold the token. A lot of other projects and other miners, they just say, ape this, you're gonna be rich one day, please hold, please don't sell. And it's like, no, bro, like I kind of want money, so people are gonna definitely sell. You know what I mean? But if there's
That's
ever
why
a
we're here.
project out there that's like, yeah, so like if ever there's a project out there that makes it worth your while to hold, which projects really do nowadays, especially with the miners with the tokens, they give you 1% reflections. Like, oh, thanks, thank you for extra tokens. But what else are you gonna hold it for? You know what I mean? So that's why we can strive to provide value to the investors so that they can feel like it's worth holding them. We can't just expect people to hold just because we ask them nicely. So that's the big difference between what Milk Farm is trying to do and what I won't say all other projects are doing, because there are great projects out there that are doing well, that have the right mindset with the projects. But the general project, we are very different from that. So I would
I
say
love,
that sets us apart.
I love it as an answer. Awesome. All right. The final question by Sam is she's apologizing if she missed this, but how long do you think it will take to get a return on investment with the miner? So if I put in a BNB today,
So
when do I get that back and when do I make money?
so depending on where you invest, and like if you invest now, we had 264 BNB TVL. If you invest now and the TVL stays as is, doesn't go up, it just stays there, and you rehire every day or whatever, you should see it in about like a month, like 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. You should see your initial investment getting compounded daily. But realistically, that won't be the case. Like the mine is not going to stay at 264. It's going to go to like 1,000 BNB TVL. I'm gonna make sure of that, and therefore you'll probably see your initial investment in like a week and a half. It depends on how much you rehire, how much you bought, when, what TVL you bought it in at, and just like your trading strategy, your compounding strategy. How are you doing it? Like every time you see one BNB in the reward, like in your rewards pool, are you rehiring? Are you adding to your markers bag? The more you add to the markers bag, the more the TVL pumps, the faster you start earning your initial investments worth in rewards. But there are already people that are invested in the miner that are earning like 200% of what the initial investment was, 300% of what the initial investment was. And some of them have done that in a week, in less than a week, able to get 100% of the initial investment compounded daily. And they're all just rehiring and playing fair. Those who haven't played fair or are not playing fair, we sorted them out. There was a guy that dumped like 2% of the TVL, I think yesterday. So I raised his tax and then he DM'd me. And I was like, bro, you need to learn a lesson, sir. Like, why are you dumping? And it's the second time that I spoke to him. The first time I did it to him, I was like, okay, bro, it's fine. Reset his tax. And then he did it again. So, yeah, I think he's out now. He made his money. He made his 2x. So, which 3x, however much it was. So now he's kind of like out of the game. The reason why we need to do things like that with the miner is because if you have milkers, if you hire milkers, you have those milkers forever. Like if you sell, your milkers are still there. That means you can sell again next week, you can sell again the week after, you can sell again the next day. And if you're the type of person that has no consideration for the TVL and no consideration for your fellow investors, there's nothing stopping you from just dumping every single day and put the whole project at risk. So that's why we would take an action like that, like we did with the guy who sold over 2%. Because you made your money, bro. That's all you care about. So you made money. Now get out of the project. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I answered a question that wasn't asked because I feel like I went on a tangent, but
You
I
did.
hope I
You did.
answered the original question.
I think you did. All right. We got a bunch of people asking to be unmuted. We'll go for one VC question and then we will jump back into the tech section.
Hello.
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 The first person was, I believe, Albert Einstein. Is that correct?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Achilles, for the opportunity to ask a question. All right, so I'll try to make my questions really brief and simple. I just want to know, would you have a guide, or a demo, or probably a video on how the game will be played and how to navigate integrations with crypto for newbies?
Yeah, of course we will have tutorials and things like that on the game. I'm actually working on tutorials for everything, including the miner. but I commissioned someone to create an animated 2D character rig of Moesha, the milk farm mascot, and then I want to create videos that are entertaining as well as educational for the purpose of using milk farm utilities and using the mine, etc. But there will definitely be videos in games, videos on the games, tutorials on the games, etc. Like right now, the game is still being developed. Like I said, like even Gamepad is waiting for a beta of the game. I'm also waiting for a beta of the game. All I've seen so far is the contract itself of the game. So I'm still waiting on the game devs to give me the final, give me all that stuff. But as soon as they do, I'm sharing it with the community. So, but it seems like they're on the right track headed towards launch date. So by Wednesday, I'm hoping to have a beta that people can play on the testnet. And yeah, there will definitely be videos, educational videos, resources for newbies to get educated with. And it'll be entertaining as well.
All right, cool. I'm really interested in this your game because it looks really nice. I just want to know. So, are you looking at putting the game in App Store, Google Play Store, and also are you looking at taking your game to the metaverse?
So, like I said, there will be multiple games. It's a catalog of games, not just one game. But the Daily Dice game will be web-based. It will be a web-based thing, Web3 Connect, etc. So that first game will just be a normal dice game. But the metaverse game, I would consider you could call Pokemon a metaverse game because it's gonna be like an MMORPG type vibe. People create their own avatar. People raise their own little Pokemon pet. They use their Pokemon pet for battle. They battle others. They can explore the world of Pokemon. So that you could call it a metaverse thing. I don't know what the definition per se of a metaverse game is, but if it means having a huge online playable game on the blockchain, then I would consider Pokemon would be that game. That would be the metaverse game.
Okay, I got that. This is a very nice project, and I must commend you guys on your work so far. Thank you so much, Achilles, for the opportunity once again.
Thank you, Mr. Einstein. I'm going to say next, if the person wants to speak in the VC, is Elias. Oh. Elias, you had a good question, buddy. You want to go for it? Oh, I hope they're unmuted.
Can I ask?
1 second, Bishop. I'm seeing if I can get Elias to speak in the VC, but I don't know if they're muted because it's being all weird. Okay, why don't we go Crypto Bishop? Go ahead, bud. Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. Hang tight. Elias is attempting to speak. I just can't see them because Telegram is scammy. Dumbledore Queen, can you guys help me look for Elias? They just rejoined. If you would mind raising your hand again, Elias, I will try to find you. Oh, got him.
I just unmuted him.
Thank you.
We got 186 people in here.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. How are you?
Good, buddy. How are you? Sorry for technical difficulties.
Yes, I'm good. I rejoined. Sorry. By reading the white paper, I felt that there are many exceptions to the rules. Like if someone is selling constantly, this wallet will be exclusive increased tax, not sex. Sorry, even though he's like doing everything normally. So I feel that this lack of commitment to the rules is kind of weird, and probably will also the investors. Why don't they just like kind of follow the rules for everyone? Because it's gonna be weird if I invest and I'm selling like I should, and then my wallet is exclusively how can I say it, like prejudiced, you know?
Bro, like first of all, if your tax is raised, you're not selling like you should. We're not gonna raise the tax if you're selling like you should. If your tax raised, you're doing something wrong. So I don't understand your question, but like I'm gonna assume that you are assuming that if you hold for 6 days, sell on the 7th day, but you sell more than 2%, your tax will get raised. That's 100% correct because you're selling an enormous amount of rewards and dumping on people. So we'll raise your tax. There's already an automatic tax raise function that when you can't sell every day in a row. because there's already that function that's automatic. The other thing which you might be making you confused is the whole situation about rehiring. So if you are stacking your rewards and your rewards are a dangerous amount of BNB, if you're stacking your rewards and your rewards are like 0.5 or whatever, it's less than 2% of the TVL, go on, stack those rewards. But if you're stacking rewards and it's already higher than 2%, like what are you planning to do with it? You're obviously going to plan to sell it and dump it, which goes against the rules. So we'll stop you before you can even dump. Because the other option is waiting for you to dump first when the damage is already done and then raising your tax. You understand? So it's all about just being vigilant and being prudent when it comes to the security of trying to prevent people from dumping. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure. I just think it's weird, like to manually change someone wallet. I don't know, but yeah, I was reading the manual one to dump measurements, that part. But yeah, thanks, man.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks for your question, buddy.
You.
All right, Crypto Bishop is next. Oh, sorry, KTH.
Hello. All right.
Go ahead, Crypto.
All right.
Go ahead,
Thank
man.
you. So much. Yeah. So my question would be, would there be
Oh, that timing was unfortunate.
any
Your
legal
mic
consent for anyone to be able to mine?
buddy, your mic went dead right
Am I
asking. You want to try it again?
Okay. I said, would there be any legal consent for everybody to be able to mine? Would there be legal consent for me to be able to mine?
Legal consent.
I don't understand.
What word will I use? Like some sort of permission.
Like legally, like the law kind of thing?
Like from you guys, from the project, from the team, actually.
What do you mean?
I don't get it, buddy.
I'm not sure.
Hello? Okay. Let me add this one. Okay, how do you plan to handle devaluation of your token? Because if people can be able to mine, there will be devaluation. Because from my little background in economics, you have to have a balance from the demand and the mining.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that you may be confusing the multiple miner with like mining Bitcoin or something. It's not that. Miner is just what it's called. It's a slang name for it, I guess. But a miner is a locked BNB staking pool.
It's a staking pool, yeah.
Yeah. It's not necessarily like a Bitcoin miner where you're mining on the blockchain, adding to the blockchain kind of situation.
It's a good question for new people, though. Yeah, this is a different kind of miner, buddy. It's not like a machine. This is where you just deposit BNB and then you get a return based on your entry and the amount of BNB.
Okay, so how do you plan on maintaining the reward system?
Well, by first of all, the anti-dump system is also part of us trying to extend the longevity of the miner itself. Because we know, realistically, something like a miner can't last forever. We just want to make it last as long as possible. But that's also why we have the ecosystem. So the token will be feeding the miners, TVL to sustain it. The games will be feeding the TVL's miners to sustain it. And that's only from the first game. We'll have multiple games and they'll all be giving their piece to the TVL of the miner and the liquidity of the token. So that's the whole plan, basically, to sustain it, is the ecosystem. And having good investors also.
I hope that answered your question, buddy. All right, I'm going to ask one real quick because we have two of the same question, and someone else asked Passion's question in the DC. Thank you, buddy. Don't ask each other's questions, guys. So the question is, has any partnership been established with other crypto coins or any other crypto blank? What other partnerships do you guys have planned for this project?
We have no partnerships right now. I don't even have any thoughts on partnerships right now. I haven't even thought about that. All we're doing is just rebuilding ourselves up from the ground up, trying to make our name, make the milk farm, spread awareness of that. If partnerships come in the future, it would have to fit in line with our vision for the project and our mindset of how we feel a crypto project should be treated. So I haven't seen any projects that kind of fit in line with us yet, but that could change anytime. I mean, if I was just fantasizing, I would say we would want to get a partnership with like Rockstar Games or something like that. You know what I mean? Or partnership with like Drake or something. But I mean, if we ever get the opportunity to get such big partnerships, I'm gonna grab all of it with both hands. But like at the moment, partnering with other crypto projects, I haven't seen any. It kind of feels like it would be a good fit. But we'll like think about that, and we'll keep you guys updated.
My man, I respect an honest answer like that. All right, before we jump back to VC, we do have a little bit more time. I'm going to ask my man Henrique's question here. It is so it's a good question. It's a good question. I got to say, I have seen the same problem in crypto. So I see a lot of projects that put out multiple utilities and sort of never really commit to one or the other. Why did you guys choose to do two at one time? And what are your plans to make sure they both are a success?
So when referring to utilities, I'm assuming you mean the miner being a third-party thing from the token, like not connected to the token at all, the token being its own thing, and the games being connected to the token. Well, but at the end of the day, they are all connected. They all sustain each other at the end of the day because it's an ecosystem. So like I said before, the text from the token feeds the miner. The text from the games and all the other utilities will feed the token and the miner, so they all sustain each other. And the thing about having all these different utilities is that when we market the miner, we automatically marketing the token. When we market the token, we're automatically marketing the utilities because we're marketing the whole project, the brand as a whole, and everything falls underneath that. So it won't be like we focusing on three different things at once. It'll be focusing on the project itself, the brand itself, pushing the brand itself. And the brand itself, Milk Farm, is a project that advocates kind of putting the investor first and providing value for the investor outside of just selling your bag. Or obviously you can take your profits, but we the focus is to provide value to people to make them hold the token. Because BSC has changed, guys. Like crypto has changed. Last year, you could have did something called Safe Moon, which had no utility, and people just held because they were like, "This is gonna make us rich." And the game has changed now. You know, that's not enough. Land was not enough to convince people to hold. So Elon tweets not enough to convince people to hold. There has to be value outside of money that the project provides. So that's what we are pushing forward. You know what I mean? We're not focusing on three different things at once. We're focusing on one thing. That's the brand of Milk Farm, and everything underneath it gets pushed with it together. You know what I mean? And if it gets out of hand, I'll just get more hands on board. There's a lot of people that really get attached to this project because of our vision, because of our presentation, because of our motto, because of our mindset. And I've already found people that I could say, "Yo, you take over the miner. You know everything about the miner. You're super passionate about the miner. You take the deployer wallet. You handle that. You know, someone that can be trusted with that." There is that if it comes to that point. But we are a big team. Well, relatively big. But we are a passionate team. And we can handle it. We're not going to neglect anything from the project. So we want the whole thing to do good as a whole.
I love that answer. That was great. Okay. Who else in VC has a question?
Hello.
Hello, Joel. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, thank you. So at the beginning of the AMA, he said he's gonna be using BNB for the play to earn games and reward system. So why did he choose BNB instead of the native token?
Because if you're gonna use the native token to play the game with, that's gonna dump the tokens chart. So if you play the game with a native token, you're gonna have to use tokens to play the game. Therefore, the chart will be red every time you play the game. If you win playing the game, it'll take from the tokens, and therefore it will cause a sell on the chart. So to prevent that, having the game have its own rewards pool. The game has its own liquidity, and that's why the requirement for you to play the game is simply to hold the token or any of the utilities. Hold the token, and you can have access to the utilities which you can use your normal BNB for. And we're not gonna make it so that you have to hold a ridiculous amount of tokens to have access to the utilities. It will be based on like BNB instead of token amount. So if you hold like 0.05 BNB worth of the tokens, you can get access to all the utilities. Because you do want everyone to be able to have access to the utilities while holding the token. So yeah, my answer, the plain and simple answer is that it's separated like that to prevent cells on the chart from the games. Understand?
Okay,
I
thank you.
think
So you said for
okay.
now, is the diary dice game, but you release more later, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so regarding the diary dice, so would there be any limit on what you can earn based on what you staked, or and any structure rather, or and also is there any reward for losers?
So dairy dice. What is the question? Like, is there any?
Is
Any
there any
I
limit
benefit?
only
to what you can earn based on what you staked, or a reward system rather? And is there any
no
reward
the
for losers?
so the staking situation that's separate from the game and the token. And the game is just dairy dice will just be your average roll the dice game, take your chances game. You know what I mean? So you have there will be a limit on how much the bets you can place. We have to do that because it's gonna have its own rewards pool. So we have to think about like we can't have people betting too much BNB and draining the reward pool. So there will be you'll have multiple choices of how much BNB you can bet. That's also to make sure that we can have the PvP system where you get randomly matched with someone that else that places a wager. Makes it though the variables easier for the contract to have a set amount of BNB that you can bet. So that's I think that answers one of your questions. And then you said do the losers get anything? If you lose the game, unfortunately, like that's just a loss. But also you have to daily dice will be a gamble, so you have to bet what you can afford to lose. But there are people who enjoy the adrenaline of that kind of situation. So I guess daily dice will be tailored for that niche of people that enjoy that kind of thing. But we will, like I said, we'll have a catalog game, so there will be games where the losing situation, even if you lose, you'll still get something out of it. We'll have something for everyone in the long run. But the first game, the reason why it's daily dice is because it is something simple that we could make and put out in time for the launch and at cost effectively. So that would be the first game that's out. And I definitely wanted something out at launch. I didn't want to be one of those projects that launches and then it's just full of promises like, oh, we're going to launch the game next week, guys. And then they never launch the game. So I want to show people from the gate, like, if we say something, we deliver, you know?
Respect.
Okay,
I hope
that's
that
nice.
answered the question, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Achilles.
You're so welcome. All right, we have time for one more question. Then we're going into a rapid fire quiz. Then we're going into our duck races. So, final person on VC, go. Okay. I guess I'll choose that section then. Let us see. You guys are spamming so much and yelling at each other in what's Russian or Ukrainian. Maybe Moldovan. I don't know. All right, let's see. A lot of monkey gifs today, guys. A lot of monkey gifs. Oh, thanks, gentlemen. We got a Schiller here, too. Not during the AMA, dude. Read the room. Okay, let us see. Guys, if I forgot someone, I'm so sorry. The amount of monkey gifs that are in this, this chapter making it really hard for me to find it. So, okay, wait, no, I got Minstrel David. Here we go. Let's see. These are great. I'll ask two of these, Minstrel David, the first two. So, what was the inspiration behind the name of this project, KTH?
So I did a minor before this. So I did do a minor before this, and it was called like breast milk, but we couldn't market that because that boobs in it. So, but I like milk. Like milk is milk is like it's it's milk, bro. Like it's smooth, it's creamy, and it's easy to
More PG,
brand. Like, sorry,
more PG. Respect. Yeah, I got you.
more, yeah, way more PG. I was like, oh man, why did I put boobs in here? I thought boobs would be so marketable because like everyone loves boobs. Like if you walk down the street and someone says, "Hey, would you like some boobs?" You're gonna say like yes, but it doesn't work like that in the business side of life. So, but it, but Prisma was a good way for me to get into the whole mining thing. Being a dev of a miner, like I learned a lot from it, and I feel like it just was meant to be. Like I had to do that project so that Milk Farm's miner at least could be way better than that miner. I was just trying to get my feet wet with the breast milk miner. So that was definitely important. But Milk Farm, as soon as that name came into my head, everything just appeared in my mind, my like the creative part of it, like how it would look, what we could do, how we could brand it, what we could call the games. It's like just came so naturally because like Dairy Dice, easy, milk fighter, milk stuff. Everything can just be milk. It's awesome. And Elon tweeted chocolate milk today. It was like, oh, chocolate milk, bro. It's like, damn, why didn't I call it chocolate milk farm? But he still tweeted the word milk. So that's bullish. So
There's a second part of this question. We're almost out of time. So the second part is, are you an animal scientist?
Animal scientist?
It's unlike Mr. question. I had to throw that in there.
I am not an animal scientist, I think. So hope that answers your question.
Solid answer, my friend. All right. Any closing comments before I stop the recording? And then we're going to go into a rapid fire quiz. So, like, everybody get ready. Let's go.
Yeah, for closing comments, it's just I hope I answered everyone's questions. I hope I made you understand what Milk Farm is as a whole, and that it's not just another project. Like there's many projects that will offer you just a quick 2x and you can get out like a short-term project. There's many of those projects, but if you're interested in something with like that's building a community, a proper community, that's building something that's long-term, that's building a brand and presenting the brand to be something that we can all be proud of as devs and investors, then come over to Milk Farm. And if there's any other questions that you might have that didn't get answered, just pop in and ask us, and we'll answer you guys quick, fast. So thank you guys for listening, though, and thanks Achilles for having me and asking all the cool questions. Thanks, bro.
Thanks for being here, buddy. All right, let me end that.